Have you ever wished you could just tell an AI, hey, go order me a pizza, or maybe summarize the top articles on this news site? You know, the big problem is that most websites are built for us, for human eyes and human clicks, not really for AI agents. Well, today, we're going to dive into a really powerful tool that changes all of that. It basically makes those AI commands a reality. So let's get into it.
So our mission today, if you choose to accept it, is pretty simple. We're going to teach AI to see and use the web just like we do. And this tool, the Website to API and MCP generator, is kind of like our friendly guide on this journey. It's all about building that bridge between the internet we see and the one an AI needs to understand. And that really brings us to the core question, right? How do you make an AI agent understand the difference between a Buy Now button and a Learn More link? How does it know how to fill out a contact form? I mean, it can't just look at the screen like we do. It needs a map. It needs a set of instructions. And that is exactly what we are going to build today. Here's the game plan for today. We'll start with the main challenge. Then we'll meet our automatic map maker. I'm going to walk you through a super simple 5-step quick start. We'll look at the files it creates, and then see how to plug all that into an AI ecosystem. And finally, we'll land on one really crucial concept you got to remember. Okay, first up, websites meet AI agents. Before we jump into the how, we really need to understand the why. What is the fundamental problem we're trying to solve here? Why do we even need a tool like this in the first place? Well, think about it. Websites use all these visual cues, colors, layouts, different fonts to guide you around. In AI, it just sees a giant wall of code. It has no idea that a search bar is for searching, or that a login form needs a username and a password. It needs a structured user manual, something that explicitly tells it what every single interactive thing is and what it does. And that leads us right to our solution, the automatic map maker. This is where our tool comes into play. It's designed to automatically create that user manual we were just talking about for pretty much any public website out there. So this tool, which lives on the Apify platform, is called an actor. You can just think of it as a specialized program in the cloud. What it does is it systematically browses or crawls a website, and as it goes, it intelligently spots all the useful bits like articles, products, and forms, and then it generates these special files called descriptors. And these descriptors, well, that's the map your AI is going to follow. Yeah, this is a perfect analogy for what's happening. The tool is basically a universal translator. It takes the visual language of the human web, what we see, and translates it into a structured, machine-readable format that an AI can understand and act on instantly. Okay, enough theory. It is time to get our hands dirty with our 5-step quick start. I'm going to walk you through your very first run, and you'll see just how easy it is to get this thing going. It's really this simple. First, you plug in the website you want to map. Second, you set a few simple limits so you don't accidentally try to crawl the entire internet. Third, and this is important, you flip a switch to tell it to generate those special AI files. Fourth, you'll just leave it on auto mode. And finally, you hit run and go get your results. Let's break those down real quick. So for your first run, you really want to keep things small and fast. Setting max pages to something like, say, 20 tells the tool, hey, stop after you visited 20 pages. And max depth of 2 tells it not to click more than 2 links deep from your starting page. This gives you a really good, high-quality sample without having to wait around forever. Now this emitMcp setting, this is the magic button. It's super important. When you turn this on, you're telling the actor, hey, don't just give me the data, give me that special instruction manual for the AI. MCP stands for Model Context Protocol, and you can just think of it as the standard language AI agents need to understand how to use web tools. For this one, just leave it set to auto. The tool is really smart. It'll first try a super fast method to just read the site's basic HTML. But if it detects a more complex, modern website that's heavy on JavaScript, it'll automatically switch gears and fire up a full browser to make sure it doesn't miss a thing. It's really the best of both worlds. Okay, you've hit run, the process is finished, and now we're at section 4, understanding the output. So what did we actually just create? Let's take a peek at the files that are now waiting for you. So after the run finishes, you'll find a couple of key files in what Apify calls the key value store. Don't let the name intimidate you. It's basically just a folder for your output. The 2 most important files for us are output-mcp.json and output-tools.json. These are your AI's brand new instruction manuals. Here's the simple way to think about it. Output-mcp.json is the big picture, the overall map of the territory. It describes the website as a whole. But output-tools.json, that's the really exciting part. It's a detailed list of all the actions your AI can now take. Inside this file, you'll find a structured definition for every form, search bar, or button, laying out exactly what goes in and what comes out.
So, you've got these awesome files. Now what do you do with them? This brings us to our next section, connecting to the ecosystem. These files are absolutely useless on their own. They're designed to be plugged into an AI system that can actually read them. Let's see how that works.
Okay, so your files get plugged into things called consumers. A great example is something called web-mcp-hub, which is kind of like an app store for all the new tools your AI has. You register your website's map there. Then you can use something like the web-mcp extension to actually command an AI to use those tools to do a task.
This slide shows the idea perfectly. You generate these artifacts, these little packets of knowledge, and you just plug them into a central hub. That hub then makes the website's functions available to any AI agent connected to it. You've basically just added that entire website's capabilities to your AI's personal skill set.
And look, the process is super straightforward. You find your generated files in Apify, you grab their unique URLs, you paste those URLs into the hub to register them, and then you can immediately start using a client, like that browser extension, to test out your AI's new powers.
Before we wrap this up, we've arrived at our last and honestly maybe the most important section. There is one absolutely critical concept you need to understand about how this all works. This is so important. Let me say it again. The tool creates the description of the website's tools. It generates the contract. It gives you the blueprint for the house, but it doesn't build the house. You still need to give that blueprint to a builder, in our case that's a hub or an agent, to actually use it. This distinction is absolutely crucial.
So there you have it. You now have the keys to unlock almost any public website for your AI agents. You can turn your favorite blog, your company's documentation, or even a complex e-commerce site into a set of tools your AI can actually use. So the only question left is, what are you going to connect first?